Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Sorry, my OBS was just like freaking out. Let me know if everything's cool, everything's working. Hey, everybody. We're having a few thunderstorms here right now, so I'm worried about OBS. But okay, it seems to be stabilizing. Let me know if everything's coming through okay. Yes, I do have a cold, by the way. But we're here. I'm hoping for the cool deep voice going on. But definitely, yeah, I woke up with a nice little cold this morning, so I decided to sleep in. And yeah, and they faked us out with that Dean thing. We have a whole nother week to edit to see what happens. But great, we can hear now. Welcome to the live stream, the Bachelor Fantake through sickness and health post show live stream. We're going to talk about everything that just happened in the latest episode of Bachelor in Paradise. Yeah, I know. It's major low right now. I honestly. Yeah, I've been drinking tea like crazy all night and all season. I know. It's like so many octaves lower right now. I haven't really talked much at all today, and then when I opened my mouth, I was like, "Whoa!" Yes, the dogs do watch Bachelor in Paradise with me. Um, Bob right now, he's a little bit upset because of some of the rain that's happening. So he's not particularly enjoying everything right now, but they usually do. And yes, we will be back to our video on likely Thursday. Yeah, I've been drinking wine all season. That too. That too. And everything. And we'll have lots to talk about in the preview breakdown as well. And yes, and so for any of you who are new to the stream, we really only have a couple of rules here. Number 1, no spoilers, no outright spoilers, please. Sleuthing is always encouraged. And 2, um just be kind to each other. Yeah, I'm drinking tea, also lots of water, also that as well. Yeah, maybe it was a an emotional reaction to everything. So do you think since Mike went home he'll be the Bachelor, or are you thinking Peter, or what? Um, so I would say like there was a lot of negative edits for Mike, and I don't mean that in terms of the content of what was said. There was a lot of no TV time for Mike, and until this last episode, he got sort of a kind of a redemption swing a little bit there, some nice positive time. But there are rumblings that it won't be Mike. That being said, I can't confirm that at all. But that's kind of what the feeling is. So yes, and also there is why does Katie cry next week? I think we're getting into the very end of the season where they start to decide whether or not to get serious and potentially get engaged with the person they're going to end up with. Um, and so it's likely going to be crying just over the emotional toll of that decision. Yes, your voice sounds different. I woke up with a cold this morning, so likely that's why they're crying. I mean, they're all going to be crying at some point, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're breaking up. Yeah, yeah, no, this is Connor filling in for Bachelor Fantake. So really didn't like this episode. Um, you know, I think Kaylin's really smart girl and she's gonna make the right decision here. And this loser Dean, he needs to grow a mustache. Yes, so yeah, and since Dean and Kaylin posted at the same location, there's been some sleuthing, not by me, by just general Bachelor people. They pointed out that Dean and Kaylin were posting shots in Europe and Spain um, around the same time, but just no shots together. It seemed like a crazy coincidence. Um, and so people have sleuthed that it's probably going to be the two of them ending up together. Whether or not they are actually, they're definitely not going to get engaged. That just is not Dean's mo. I don't see it, but they'll definitely be getting together. New video, yeah. There's going to be one coming out probably Thursday. I'm probably gonna take it a bit easy tomorrow and just kind of go back to what we've had a few times with Paradise, and then we'll have a preview breakdown as well. What do you think about Sydney and Matt? I think what one. I don't think they're going to be a big couple together. They're not going to be a crazy big couple together. Definitely, Matt got over that fear of kissing real quick on his date with Bree. That you know didn't take too long after that whole lesson with Sydney for him to open up about all that. Did you see Dean's Instagram post? Did he do one more recently? Like today? I haven't seen anything like very recently. So, and do you think that Blake is getting desperate for a relationship as Paradise is close to ending, or do you think he truly has feelings for Christina? I feel like he just fears ending up alone. I think that is a pretty. I mean, I can't speak for Blake, but I think that that is an interesting observation. I feel like he just fears ending up alone, um, more so than him. I guess just desperately trying to scramble for TV time or a rose. I think he's kind of fooling himself a little bit. Um, in that, oh, there's no one else, and oh, there's Christina this whole time. She was there all along. Why didn't I see it earlier? The perfect person. I think he's fooling himself a little bit. I mean, who knows if they continue on strong, but I mean, there's so many red flags, and it's hard to build a proper foundation of a relationship on the history that they have. There's a lot of mistrust that will always be there, I think. So it's hard to say that I think Dean is truly loved Christina all along, and he's just now realizing it. I think he's fooling himself a little bit. Do you believe Luke S will manage to find someone before the season concludes? If so, who? I don't think so. I think at this point, basically all the couples that have been established, the main ones, are going to be the ones we see, and there won't be much of any addition. Or I'd be surprised if there was. Um, yeah, and is he trying to save face? Yeah, probably trying to save face as well, a little bit. But definitely, definitely Luke S. It's hard to hear or see or think about anyone other than the main couples, which are Demi and Christian, uh, Clay and Nicole, potentially, obviously Hannah and Dylan. Um, these ones, Katie and Chris B. Those are going to be the ones that we see at Endgame, potentially walking down to get engaged. Will there be any more people entering Bachelor in Paradise? I feel like there could be. There's it seems weird that they would, considering I believe there's next week and then the week after is going to be the finale. Um, it feels weird that they would add people in. Usually there is, I believe. Usually there's one or two, and I always kind of feel sad because there's no hope for them, right? Because they're so late in the game. But who is getting engaged? So I think we saw an additional engagement photo from the preview, one that we haven't seen before. We've seen two before that we know are from the show. So there's one here, which is Dylan and Hannah. We sleuthed it out based on the armbands that you see, the blue band Dylan's worn, and this red and yellow one that Hannah has worn. And then we've also seen this one here, which to me is Katie and Chris B. I don't think that's John Paul Jones's hand or arm there. He's a little bit not as tan, and I don't believe that they're ready for that. So those are the only two that we kind of have sleuthed out and know for sure, or like almost for certain. So anyone else is a possibility. I mean, they could all get engaged, but that's no. They would in the promos they would allude to something like that. Um, People who I could see getting engaged that we don't know, maybe Demi and Christian. Uh, I don't see it being Clay and Nicole. So we can see also that Clay and Nicole do make it. They don't break up. We kind of talked a little bit about that last night. If there was going to be a couple that broke up, it might be Clay and Nicole, with how kind of crazy Nicole's been. But we do see that they make it to the beach where Nicole's like, "Say you love me." Who did Kaylin choose? We didn't see. And Lauren West, thank you so much for the super chat. Who do you predict for a wedding next year on Bachelor in Paradise? So going in, I would have hoped to this episode with recent news that Astrid and Kevin are engaged now. I would have maybe hoped for them. I like them as a couple, but they did say that they would not be involved. I believe somewhere in one of their posts they had said they would not be involved in having the wedding on Paradise or on any sort of reality TV show. Um, and so otherwise maybe Raven and Adam, because they got engaged as well. Raven and Adam, we saw them briefly at the wedding. Um, but otherwise, I don't know. Maybe Dylan and Hannah, they seem to be the most gung ho about getting engaged, I'd say. Maybe Crispy, but we'll have to see. Blake, yeah, Blake and Christina, for sure. All right, nobody slapped Angela this episode. Let's stop with that. Any message like that's gonna get timed out. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Who do you think will get eliminated next week? Maybe well, I'm looking at the people who are not in solid relationships. Um, so I'm looking at Luke. Looking at possibly Connor, because I'm thinking he's gonna lose out on the Kaylin thing. Do you think anyone new is coming? Probably. There's usually always at least one or two that come in still before the finale. What about Grocery Store Joe and Kendall next year? I think they would have to get engaged. They aren't engaged yet. Yeah, do you have a cold? I absolutely do. Absolutely do. Apparently, when I get a cold, I turn into Connor. So yeah, don't think it's good for me next episode. Um, but we'll see what Kaylin does. Yes, on JPJ's Insta, he apologized to Chris and Crystal, but not to Derek. Do you think he'll ever apologize to Derek? No. And I'll tell you why, or at least he hasn't yet, because Derek is still really peeved at JPJ, and so I feel like they haven't hashed it out yet, because Derek responded with some shade to that. So, do you think the producers would hide an engagement clip and save it for a surprise, or do they use all footage? So, I don't know. It depends. I feel like they added a new one in this last preview, a third one, but I don't know if I'm seeing things, if I'm hallucinating from cold medicine or not. But they definitely added in a fake one. In the season promo, they had they had four shots of engagements or rings going on fingers, right? One was from Chris and Crystal's wedding, so obviously, I mean, they were wearing like a wedding dress and a tuxedo in it, so it was pretty obvious that that was just from that. Two that we've seen before, we've shown in the preview breakdowns, and tonight here, which we are, at least I'm speculating, is Hannah and Dylan, and then Crispy and Katie, and then they showed a fourth one which ended up being a shot from when Jared proposed to Ashley last year in Paradise. So they do like to say say go back to your van in the carnivores. Yeah. Why do you rent a car, Dean, if you have a van? Um so they do all sorts of things. I wouldn't put it past them to hide one or two depending on it. I mean, it could be they hide Demi and Christian because it's pretty obvious that it's two female hands. Maybe there's a reason why they could hide one, but who knows? They usually mess around with us in some way. Do you remember when they had Colton walking around with a ring box, even though he never proposed to anybody? Was it me or were the episode editors on fire tonight? Yeah, I know the Matt Donald thing. They were like so bored at work or something, uh, with like that whole thing. They were I don't know, or they ate whatever John Paul Jones was eating when he was on that date with Tajwan. They were feeling it. I'm also feeling a John Paul Jones thing here too. You know, like for Sooth. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Yeah, the editing was really funny this week. Shots of Matt finally kissing Sydney, and the Chris B as not Gerard Butler. Yeah, that's the kind of like when the show stops taking itself so seriously, that's when it really shines. The whole intro segment, which is like cringy as hell, but really some of it's so funny. And the intros sometimes when people are just super serious and they turn and look, I like who makes that decision? Because it's so lame. The fun stuff of like, like weird poses or references to things they've done in the past is all cool. It's when people do nothing, they just kind of turn and smile that I go, "What? Come on. Are you just not creative or did someone make that decision for you?" Yeah, they put like a new thing every week for Chris B. Bachelor franchise elder. Is Peter the next Bachelor, or is that just a rumor? There's no confirmation, but I like you kind of get a feel for the rumblings that happens in Bachelor world just by being online, like on Twitter and stuff like that, and that seems to be what people are talking about. But I mean, we don't have any official confirmation, so yeah, he should always be thinking of Phoebe on Friends when she's sick. What does she say? Is like sticky shoes or something like that. I'll start my album right away. Yeah, like Demi puts the crown on. Even Blake's dancing, which is like, I don't know, it's so perfect for this season, but it's still something that's like cringy and it fits with the show. When that stuff happens, that's what Paradise is about. You know, we have that fun, and then we have maybe a few engagements and some drama thrown in there. Um, Mike was eliminated, I know, and it sucks, but I mean, at the end of the day, we've had like weeks of very little screen time for Mike. Um, Seemingly no great match for him. He went on dates with Angela, and she went and immediately found someone else. He went on a date with Kaylin. She then went and immediately found someone else. And Sydney and him just never connected. So I'm not surprised. Smelly Cat, but I thought she also did a different song too. I know she does like Smelly Cat all the time, but for what on the episode where Phoebe is sick, she has another song that she sings. I think maybe I'm wrong. And Donald from Detroit, thank you so much for the super chat. Mookie, my cat, loves your chats. Wants to meet too. Yeah, yeah, wants to meet dogs. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think I I don't know. I don't know if my dogs have ever met a cat like in the house ever before. So I don't know how they would react. I think Jackson is really good with other animals. He can be intimidating in the first meeting, but he's a Maremma, and eventually he likes to protect them. Like one time, a bunny we got like caught in a fence when we were going by, and Jackson went up to it and just like licked it, like a you know caressing thing. And Shenny, thank you so much for the super chat. Your channel has rekindled my love for this show. Awesome, awesome. I mean this is what it's about. It's about talking about the show. I love just chatting with people and speculating and hearing other people's opinions. Like when I first started the channel, I called it Bachelor Fantake because really this was just like my fan take on the show. So I love when people just give their fan take as well. And I also love when like other people I could be talking about something here, other people are talking to each other when people, you know, meet new friends and they're not even has nothing to do with me. It's awesome. Um and you can check out the Discord as well. I put a link to it in all my videos, all my latest ones as well. If you're not connected to it, I think you probably are, but um people can chat about the show too. And Alyssa Rodriguez, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for supporting the channel. I would love for Peter to be my pilot, but I'll never fly with Delta again. I know. Private pilot, perhaps. Delta, we'll see. But if Delta offered a promo where Peter was your pilot for the flight, would you switch airlines? Would you make an exception? Like legitimately. I know you just said that you wouldn't, but think about it. Discord link. I can find the Discord link here. 1 second. I'll get it going in just a second. Discord is a place where it's basically just a chat room, and it's under Bachelor Fantake. Um, and it's talk about the show. There's areas where you can talk like not about the show as well, but other people who watch the videos, other people who here I can get it. Boom. Discord. Nice, right before you. Yeah, and just like yeah, just basically chat and hang out, talk about stuff. Have you got anyone in your personal life into the Bachelor franchise? There are some people who I know who have watched a bit, um, based because of my videos. Yeah, for sure. most of my like family um that had watched it before. But yeah, I dislike JPJ now. There's yeah, I can understand that. He has been acting really weird. Really weird. And definitely a bit out of line, but I think he's working pretty hard to get it back. He's a bit of an oddball, so Blake and Christina, I don't buy it. Yeah, me neither. I mean, it just doesn't seem healthy. What is your opinion on Angela and the whole situation? I'm guessing we're talking about um or I guess we're talking about everything that happened this episode with Clay and all that. I honestly I don't think Angela's done anything wrong. I think Clay was acting super weird. Um, he seemed to be like, I don't want Angela to ruin my relationship, and then he kept talking and talking and talking about her. I don't think. Mostly, I just saw Angela come on and try to go on dates, so I don't think she's done anything wrong. And in terms of their relationship, I didn't hear any major red flags on her part, but maybe I missed something. I used to really like Connor, but he seemed to be getting a bad edit. Maybe I don't think he's had like a bad like a negative edit. I think he's just kind of getting the short end of the stick in terms of everything with Kaylin. So maybe that's why. Yeah, Clay dumped her for not wanting to go to the gym for 4 hours. See, that seems strange. Like, you know, uh, like a guy who was at the time like unemployed going to the gym for 4 hours, and he was kind of demanding her to be more supportive by like pursuing his interest of going to the gym for a super long time. I don't know i don't know about that. Yeah, and I don't like how all the other cast members talked about Angela. I know they've had more time now with Clay and Nicole, and feel like and there's an allegiance to them. um yeah, like wasn't there was something about like Angela's revenge body, which was strange. Like she looked like, obviously they were talking about, ooh, like revenge. She looks great, but like wasn't she super thin before as well? And anyways, I do believe that Nicole apologized recently on Twitter about how she handled that situation on her Twitter page. Where did that Haley and Luke Rose come from? Were you shocked about that? Yeah, I there was honestly a point where I was like, wait, where did Luke get his rose from again? Like, because yeah, they kind of seemed like outcasts giving roses there. Um, so that one was a bit strange. Yeah, Angela literally hasn't done anything. I sort of, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen anything that's caused me to think she's done something or there's a red flag there. And Geraldine Pereira, sorry if I messed that up. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for supporting the channel. Bachelor is my guilty pleasure, please. Thanks for fueling it. Wow, I butchered that sentence. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. It is absolutely my guilty pleasure too, and now it's like I spend a way more time than I used to on it. Um, but it's awesome, and glad that I can help with the fix. What if Luke S being upset in the season previews because Luke P showing up? No, I doubt that that's not gonna happen. Luke P is not gonna be there. No way. So, do Bachelor contestants get paid by ABC? I do not believe they do. I think the leads do. but there's no, not for people who show up on the show. There's certain things that I know. Pretty much, if you're a contestant on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, you have to show up with your own clothes. You have to get a lot of clothes. Bring tons of clothes, um, including Bachelor in Paradise, because they have to approve your outfits. For reasons like they don't want people wearing the same outfit unless it's a night one kind of gimmick, like, oh, you both showing up in the same outfit, to cause some drama or something. They don't want people like overly matching or or anything like that. So there's like rules. There's a lot of rules that they have to follow. And getting money is not one of them. Yeah, Bachelor contestants get paid by the Instagram fame that that they get afterwards. So are JPJ and Connor related? They sound just alike, like surfer boys. I know they've got that surfer thing going. Jared said he was nicely paid to go on Bachelor Paradise Australia, so I think they do. Maybe it's different for the Australian version, and and it might be different if like because that's also from not from like if the Americans get paid to go and be a part of Bachelor in Paradise Australia, it gives them incentive to be there. Do you think that Blake will be on Paradise next year? He has the potential for the Ultimate Redemption storyline. Quite possibly. Uh, quite possibly. I mean, we'll see what they do. They've added some a lot of repeats, and Blake could be one of them for sure. It would certainly stir the pot. How about the name of the hookup spot as the Boom Boom Room? I thought that was the room that they go in to play bumper cars. I don't know. Yeah, it would cost a lot to travel internationally. Maybe that's why. Yeah, and at that point, a lot of them are adding, I guess, clout to the show too. So I feel like, but I mean, I don't, yeah, they're adding clout. They're also probably gaining clout and gaining new like followership, I guess, outside of America. But yeah, I do believe that at least on the American version, they don't get paid. What was up with Matt not wanting to kiss Sydney on the first date and then kissing Bree? I know. Sydney just warmed him up for her. Are you rooting for JP Jasha or still, or has JPJ's recent insanity turned you off too? I'm rooting for them still. I mean, I don't want them to not find love, right? You know, I don't want them to like crash and burn. I mean, JPJ has acted really weird, but there is a like a and he's done made some mistakes for sure, and I even all the stuff he said with Derek or about Derek, I feel like there's a lot of ways he could have done that better. But at the end of the day, I do feel that there is a genuine um, truth to his feelings for Tasha. So I hope that they find each other. They've been early on in the season. Think back to that, really cute together. So I hope it goes back to that. Maybe Bree just like went straight in, and he was like, okay, well, mom's seen me kiss already once. Why not twice? Do you think that Blake's romantic interest in Christina was genuine or an extreme ploy to get a rose? Yeah, I talked a little bit about this earlier, um, and I think Blake is kind of convinced himself. I think it's a bit of, maybe it's a bit of both. Like he wants to get a rose, he wants to have that storyline, but and Christina seems like the greatest avenue. And but I do believe maybe he's sort of convinced himself of that. I don't know if if he had less less people angry at him, if he would go down this route. And Lufsla72, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for supporting the stream and the channel. Tonight, Dylan said the same thing about JPJ that I've been thinking. His feelings for Tasha have made him act a bit irrationally. Thoughts? Oh, for sure. The whole reason that he suddenly went after Derek was because of Tasha, right? So he had heard these things about Derek, these, like him talking about his podcast and allegedly talking about using fame for women, and he sat on it, didn't say anything until Tasha entered the picture in terms of like Derek and Tasha having a relationship. I mean, like we don't know John Paul Jones' thought process. It's a weird area to get to, but certainly that seemed weird to me, and it seems clear that he felt like he does have a hard time communicating a bit, or at least that's what the editing seems to show. How he talked with Haley and didn't really couldn't think of suddenly all the major couples that were there, and expressing himself on a deep emotional level doesn't seem to be his forte. Or at least he doesn't seem as practiced in it. So I think he's kind of maneuvering through that, and it was certainly sparked by Tasha. And Idle Lows, thank you so much for the super chat. Angela never said Clay is ruining her situation. Yeah, well, yeah, no, for sure. Like, it was Clay who was saying she was ruining his situation, or that he couldn't. It was so hard to watch her be there dating his friends and all that, but she kind of. I don't know, as far as I can tell from everything we were shown, she didn't really care that he was dating Nicole and in a relationship and that they were there. I mean, she obviously, it's tough, but she wasn't agonizing like Clay seemed to be. And I wonder if there's a bit of guilt there, but on Clay's part. So, and he kept calling her we've seen it for like weeks now. Like, you're a special person. You're a special person. Like, it's just okay. We get it. Like, get to the point. Have the conversation and get to a place where you can move on, because you're both there in paradise and you're both going to be dating other people, and you have to deal with that. And so you can either let it ruin paradise or work something out. So, who do you think Matt's rose will go to? Your guess is as good as mine, but I mean, obviously, he seemed to kiss Bree a lot quicker. So, but I mean, Matt seems like a guy who's pretty down to earth, and Sydney seems more like his match. So we'll see what another day some conversations add to the mix. How can you watch The Bachelor in Paradise full episodes? Usually there's like ABC or something will stream it sometime after it airs on their websites, or whatever provider. So if you go to like ABC, was there a rose ceremony tonight? No, there was not. We ended on Dean coming into the show onto the beach. And that's it. We don't know what Kaylin's going to do. He came back for Kaylin. When do we find out Bachelor? Probably whenever this show ends. Probably on after the final Paradise or whatever they call it, or the next day or something like that. But probably they'll probably want to announce it and do like a promo thing for it. So it'll be on the last episode. What happened with JPJ? So him and Tasha are back together. Or what? There was a rose ceremony. There was a rose ceremony tonight. There was. But so, I yeah, the cold medicine is getting to my brain. Okay, I'm going crazy. I'm getting loopy. All right. Absolutely was a rose ceremony tonight. Woo. Okay. All right, folks. Woo. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm seeing. I ate too much of the date food. Okay. Yeah. Women gave out the roses. Mike went home. So yes. But we ended the show not with a rose ceremony. We ended the show with Dean and Kaylin and Connor, I guess. Has anyone in Bachelor Nation reached out to you about your channel? Yes. Yes. Yes, they have. Um, I not nothing other than like comments, here and there, and not many, but nothing. There's no real like nothing to say really. Yeah, was not sad to see Michael home because they barely showed him, so I wasn't invested in him at all. Yeah, I know. He got like no screen time. Why am I rooting for Dean? Someone help? Probably you're probably hoping for a redemption, that he sees the light. Whoops. So Mike goes home. I thought there were no spoilers here. Well, no spoilers, like future spoilers, right? So no, like, oh, like we've conferred, like we know, like this next episode this happens or whatever. Obviously, like we're gonna talk about the episode that happened tonight. Like that's not a um spoiler. That's not what I mean by spoilers. Like we're allowed to talk about the episode tonight and this week. After all that's happened, who is your best bet for Bachelor now? It's Peter, or I mean, like who are the options, right? Peter or Derek? If it's not Mike, right? But like Peter is the gut. That's what seems to be what people seem to be thinking and rumbling about. So, but again, that hasn't been officially confirmed yet. And Emily, thank you so much for the super chat. Feel better soon. Thank you. Do you think that Tasha would look at JPJ the past few episodes and see things differently? So we'll definitely find out. Because she'll have seen all the episodes and they will discuss that on the after the final rose thing. Um, my guess is that is no. Um, I think she's seen like a lot of what she's seen. She saw on Paradise, like the worst parts of it, like how he acted at the wedding and the blowout with Derek. So she's kind of seen the worst of it. There's no like surprise interview or behind the scenes thing that would suddenly change her mind. I don't think. I think she's seen the worst and she's obviously okay with it. So Demi for bartender, absolutely. Throw her in there. What about Tyler for bachelor? I think that ship has sailed. I think both Tyler and ABC don't want that. Not even though he has like a huge following on social media. I think the whole like him and Gigi Hadid thing is just not something they're interested in talking around, right? So Tyler out of the picture. Do you think if Peter is the Bachelor, then there will be a lot more windmill jokes? Oh, it's going to be all over the season. if like someone's gonna walk in with a freaking windmill costume night one, uh, if Peter's the Bachelor, it's gonna be like Colton is a virgin all over again, but like the opposite. So, do you know of any other Bachelor Nation YouTube channels? Yeah, there's a few. There's one. I know there's a guy who I've seen every once in a while show up, and he's pretty funny. Who just like sits on his couch and and reacts to the show, which is pretty funny. You can check that out. I'm sorry I don't have his name. I'm really sorry, but chances are if you watch my channel, it'll show up in the sidebar at some point. And it's something like week whatever reactions. Um, Yeah, Dean managed to get to San Diego, the Grand Canyon, then back to Mexico within that tiny filming lifespan. Apparently, like they'd only been together a week, and then I don't know, maybe it's possible. PMO Productions, awesome. There you go. So we are going to come to the end. Yeah, there also is Lauren Zima's show, Roses and Rose, which I sometimes watch for like sleuthing stuff. Um, do you attend any of the live tapings? I do not. I do not. And I do not. I have not made it to any of them. It'd be interesting to go though. I'd love to go one day just to experience it and see everything. See everything. So yes, we are going to be coming to the end of the live chat tonight. I'm gonna get some nice rest and try to shake off this cold. So if you have any last questions, anything you want to talk about, let's do it now. Let's get it out now. Yeah, I'm getting depressed. The Bachelor Paris is almost over, and then we have a long um, off season. Did you notice in the preview that looks like two female hands getting engaged? I did notice that. That I had mentioned there seemed to be like suddenly a new engagement shot. So Tasha saying I'm sorry to JPJ in the preview. Yeah, I could be. Yeah, I don't know for sure about that. There's a lot of crying, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it all means. It's so close to the end of the season, and they're suddenly talking about engagements, the possibility of like living together after the show, the yada yada yada. That emotions are going to be high. There's going to be a lot of crying, even for the couples that end up together. So how many Bachelor slash Bachelorettes have appeared on Paradise before their season? Well, for the American one, we know that. So this is like season 6, right? And there's been 2. So Bachelor, obviously, like the first few seasons, the idea that someone would become the Bachelor in Paradise or after Paradise seemed pretty strange. Seemed kind of like no one took that seriously. Then Nick Viall became the Bachelor because of his time in Paris, and then Colton. So it is becoming more of a possibility. They are seeing the idea that a storyline can carry through Paradise to become Bachelor. Do you think, against all odds, Mike might still be the Bachelor? Um, Nothing's impossible until they confirm it. So I'll say that. Will you be will you be up to dropping your preview breakdown this week? Absolutely, I will. Absolutely will. I'll still be doing a recap. I'll still be doing a preview breakdown probably Thursday, Friday. Who do you think will become the Bachelor? Right now, Peter. Who do you want? I've always been Team Mike. Nothing against Peter, really, but uh, I've been Team Mike. Yeah, why was Cam's intro not him blowing rose petals or rapping or something? I mean, I guess he did the Paradise thing, right? I guess that's what they were going for. Uh, do you think Demi is still there because producers want to test the water in terms of her being like the like a bartender, like with Dean? Or sorry, Wells. Yeah, I just read Dean on the screen. That's why I said that. Um, I mean, maybe. Like, we'll see. She would be great for it. And I think she'd be pretty good publicity for the show too. Do you think something will happen with Demi and Christian? For sure, for sure. It will either be like something super serious or engagement, like at minimum something super serious. Yeah, Cam got his own music video though. At least we got that. What do you think about Clay's statement of why he broke up with Angela? Sounded a bit harsh. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I think he was a bit flustered, and I'm not exactly. I don't understand why anyone would be. I don't know. I've been pretty team Angela here. I guess I'll say that, right? Clay certainly seemed he seemed off. When is your birthday? It's in June, so we passed over it. Hi everyone. Hey Kayla. And now we're gonna end the stream, which is actually what we're doing. Sorry if you just showed up, but we are coming to the end point of the stream. It's time for me to get a little rest, get back into tip top shape. Thanks everyone for coming out. It's been awesome chatting. We've got great thing about Paradise is it's one less day till it all starts again on Monday, so only a few days away. Sorry, Kayla. So videos will be coming out. I'll see you all on the channel real soon. I'll pop into Discord here and there as well. And until then, Bachelor Fantake out.